Hello, welcome back to Toffee's YouTube channel, your source for all things Everton. My name is Thomas, and Everton have just lost 2-0 to Norwich City at home. The same Norwich City side that haven't scored away from home since the first game of the season away at Liverpool. They certainly haven't got a win away from home, and disastrous performance from start to finish. It was absolutely pathetic from everyone. The defence was poor, the midfield was absent, another Morgan Schneiderlin stinker, but is that just not just an average game for Morgan Schneiderlin these days? The attack never looked particularly like they were going to score. We never looked like a side that was going to push on and even get a point towards the end. There was a couple of chances which Tim Krul made some good saves for, but it's an absolutely disastrous result. Back into the relegation battle, and I'll be surprised if Silva's still here for the next game. We'll just start by looking at the two goals. First goal, Todd Cantwell. Pookie bullied Yerry Mina and Mason Holgate with ease, it's not something we've come to expect recently. Pookie really easily got past them and managed to slide in Cantwell, who finished well. Nothing really Pickford could do. So really poor defending on that one. Really poor defending on the second one as well. Deep into stoppage time, Sigurdsson comes flying in. He manages to deflect a pass into the path of Serbina. Sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. I don't really know how to pronounce that name. And he's bullied the defenders again. So the defence was pretty shambolic, pretty much epitomised by the fact that 1-0 down at home to Norwich City. Seamus Coleman came on for Jibril Sidibe. That was meant to be an impact substitution. It was absolutely disastrous. Marcus Silva got it all wrong. I think the lineup lacked pace, it lacked creativity, it lacked energy, and that pretty much just summed up our performance all game. The only time we ever looked like we were really going to score was maybe towards the end, kind of with 15 minutes to go. There was kind of a bit of a flurry of activity. Schneiderlin had a deflected shot. There was some good saves by Tim Krul when maybe Sigurdsson should have done better. But other than that, for the 90 minutes, there was no reason that we should have won that game. Norwich, we made them look like Manchester City for most of the game as well. They are a really poor side. I spoke to Chris from Talk Norwich City a few days ago about how do we beat Norwich City, and he said put us under pressure at the start of the game, come straight out, put us under pressure. But as we all know, that's not what we do here at Everton. It's not what we do at Goodison Park, and yet again it's another disastrous performance. Didn't put them under pressure, we let them play their game. We never really got into a rhythm. The game kind of started really poorly the first 10 to 20 minutes. No one really had a foothold in the game, and that's all we needed to take advantage of that time at the start of the game. They're clearly weak away from home. I know we're weak away from home, but they're on a different level of poor away form. We didn't take the game to them straight away. We let them kind of just settle in. If you're not getting on the front foot at home in the first 20 minutes, you know what's the point? Like that, it's such an easy opportunity. It's such an easy opportunity for 3 points against a side that's really struggling. They were bottom of the table before the start of the game. It's a tricky run of fixtures coming up as well towards Christmas. Got Leicester, then a bunch of the top six, even though they're not really the top six anymore. The top six is all over the place. Can we see many points coming from that? Absolutely not. It had to be 3 points today, which, and honestly, I'm surprised that it wasn't, because Norwich have been that poor, and we let them play their game. Not even to a particularly high standard. They've looked like a really good attacking side at times this season, but they didn't even kind of reach that level today, and we just let them play, and we made stupid mistakes at the back, which let them score. But then we didn't look like we were going to score either. So the whole performance was our fault. There wasn't any luck. There wasn't any dodgy VAR decisions. It was all down to our own lack of effort in places, lack of ability in some cases. Maybe a midfield with Schneiderlin in is never going to be good. I thought Davies had an okay game, a decent game. Not one of his best, but I thought he played well. Anyone would look good next to Morgan Schneiderlin, to be frank. I thought Sigurdsson didn't have a good game. Again, he slows the game down. Iwobi was dropped for some reason. He came on as a sub. He made an impact when he came on, to be fair, but why was he warming up 5 minutes after the half-time? That's what I want to know. If you're going to make that sub, why not bring him on at half-time, make the changes, make the tactical changes that everyone can then go into the half, knowing what their role is. It was a bit of a reactive sub. Schneiderlin was already on a yellow card from early on, and he looked like he probably got away with not getting sent off, and then all of a sudden Iwobi's brought on after we concede the first. It looked like a reactive sub to the goal. It was probably a reactive sub to Schneiderlin almost getting sent off, but again, I'm not really sure why Iwobi didn't start. He's looked threatening. He had one poor game against Spurs, I think it was, and he just brings so much energy to the attack, which we lacked all game. Next up, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Alright, not much got to say about that. He didn't set the world alight when he came on, but when you're bringing on Calvert-Lewin when you're a goal down, you expect to kind of maybe long balled a bit more crossing at the box. But our game plan didn't really change. We were still trying to play out from the back, which at times it was nerve-wracking to watch because we didn't look like we had the capability of doing it. Calvert-Lewin didn't really come on and make that much of an impact. One word on Tosin. A lot of people have been speaking about how Tosin deserves running the side. He got brought into the side last game. He didn't really do anything. He kept his place somehow today. He didn't really do anything again. I think it's very much people calling for Tosin's sake at the moment, because although we are struggling, we do need goals. He doesn't seem like he's offering them, but he kind of seems like the best at the moment, the better option. But you can't start a game with him, Schneiderlin, Walcott and Sigurdsson. It just lacks so much pace. And with the amount of energy and pace that we had on the bench in Calvert-Lewin, Iwobi, Moise Kean, we'll get onto him very soon. The amount of energy that was lacked in all of them, the whole game, it was so disappointing to watch, and kind of what we've come to expect from Everton. Seamus Coleman came on. I don't really understand that substitution. Djibril Sidibe wasn't having his best game, but when you're 1-0 down, are you really looking to kind of preserve the defence? No, we needed to sit on the front foot. He refused to bring on Moise Kean. He's brought on Seamus Coleman as a defensive substitution, as a like-for-like substitution for Djibril Sidibe. Why? What impact is that going to have on the game? What impact is that going to have on us potentially going to get a rescue and equaliser, or maybe even winning, which obviously it didn't happen in the end, but are we really surprised bringing on Seamus Coleman as an impact substitution when we're 1-0 down at home to a side that has only scored one other goal away from home all season? It comes a lot down at the manager. It was a poor decision, I thought, to not play Iwobi at the start. It's a poor decision to bring on Coleman. It's a poor decision to bring on Iwobi when he did. And a word on Moise Kean. What on earth does that lad have to do to get into this side? There was rumours about him being late for training. That's why he was dropped when we were away to Southampton. But he's gone away in the international break. We were told that the problems were settled. There wasn't any problems between staff and Moise Kean or the players. He's gone away on the international break with Italy under 23s, and he scored twice. Why can't that lad come on? Why can't he come on and then make an impact? Because at the end of the day, bringing on an aging Seamus Coleman at right back when you're 1-0 down against Norwich City at home, is that going to make an impact? Absolutely not. We needed pace. We needed an injection of pace because we started very slowly. It was almost a bit of a throwback to kind of Ronald Koeman when, we were starting with all these like central attacking midfielders. We lacked pace. We lacked pace again today. There wasn't much fluidity in the attack. The off-the-ball movement was poor all game. That never really improved. And we never looked like a side that were going to rescue a point. It definitely didn't look like a side that were going to win, which is absolutely pathetic against a Norwich side that are even worse away from home than we are. I thought just kind of an honourable mention for Norwich there. I thought Tim Krul had a good game, to be fair. He made a couple of good saves. Sigurdsson probably should have done better when he kind of drew that one towards him. Davies caught a shot nicely, but that went straight to Tim Krul as well. Tim Krul made a couple of decent saves. Other than that, they didn't set the world alight either. It was a poor game. I don't think it's going to be first on Match of the Day tonight. Other than that, I don't really want to dwell too much on it because at the end of the day, it's a really poor performance. I'm sure everybody's kind of in agreement now. Well, most people will be in agreement now. I think Silva has to go. If the club kind of dilly-dally on that for the rest of the week, and then it gets to the next game and he manages to keep his job, and then I think the next game might be Leicester, unless I'm mistaken, because we're not going to win that realistically. I think he has to go now, but they have to have a replacement lined up because there's no point sacking the manager if you've got no one to come in, because I'm not having another few months with David Unsworth in charge. That was disastrous. We have to have lined up a replacement. We should have seen maybe this coming. Silva's been in a poor run of form for most of the season. There should be a replacement lined up. We shouldn't be doing what we did last time, kind of sacking the manager reactively, waiting around, then all of a sudden we have to resort to Sam Allardyce because everyone else has turned us down. We have to have a replacement lined up. There's plenty of rumours about who might be a replacement, but that has to happen. And in all honesty, it has to happen now. I think Silva has to go. He can't seem to motivate the players. He can't seem to make tactical changes that are going to cause teams problems. We were so poor today in attack. We were so poor in defence. I don't want to dwell on it. And that's pretty much all I've got to say. Remember to give us your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Check out all the Toffee Blues social medias down below. I'm about to go and write the player ratings, who I think played well, who I think played poorly, which at the end of the day was most of the team. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.